This is a WWN Publishing Group recording. Copyright 2017, all rights reserved. This is an abridged version of Hot Georgia Rein by Martha Sweeney to make the story appropriate for all listeners on YouTube. Read to you by the author. If you want to read the complete story, you can find the ebook or paperback online. Links are provided below in the description. Chapter 30, Henry. After I hang up the phone with Grady, I remain where I stopped, trying to process everything that I saw at Ivy's apartment and what Grady just told me. Excitement at the idea that I have a son with Ivy, flurries through me, but at the same time, rage and several other emotions filter in. I'm not sure how I feel about it. Would I have been better not knowing? How would I have felt if I heard it directly from Ivy and not like this? I start to wonder who else knew about my son and didn't tell me, causing me to call Grady back. Who else knew? I ask, as soon as he answers. What? Grady returns. Who else knew about my son? I press. Aside from Ivy, it was just Mama, Papa, Nana, Pops, and me, Grady informs. I nod as the information processes in my brain. You sure no one else knew? I check. Just Cece and Drew, Grady states. She kept it quiet. She didn't want to interfere with your life. Interfere with my life? I bark. It interferes. He's my son. You were engaged, Grady reminds. Ivy didn't want Juliana to be marred by your actions, and she didn't want you marked as a cheater. Besides, you didn't go after her. Grady's right. I was a fucking coward. I let her go and chose Juliana over Ivy. I chose to stay in Georgia rather than be with her and be who I could be and what we could have been together. How could you not tell me? I ask dejectedly. I wanted to, Grady returns. I even pushed Ivy when she got back to tell you. It wasn't until she called me out for not telling my secret to our parents that I understood why she couldn't just tell you. Can you blame her? She was trying, at least from what she said she was. I'm sure she was scared of what you might think of her, let alone what you'd say. My head bounces, understanding why it would be hard for him to tell his parents about being gay. She planned on telling me? Yeah, Grady confirms. Why do you think she came back for the funeral? She probably needed to see where you were with things. Did Ivy really come back for me? For us? Put yourself in her shoes, Grady suggests. There wouldn't have been a right decision either way. You know that. I would have gone after her if I knew, I claim. Really? Grady questions. His doubt hurts, but it's the truth. There were so many times I could have done something and I didn't. Maybe I wasn't ready then. Maybe her leaving was what I needed to grow up and realize that I love her. With that last thought, I know what I have to do. I told her it didn't matter what's happened between us, I state, the night of the funeral. Then why the fuck are you still talking to me? Grady laughs. Shut up, I chuckle. Fuck you, Grady teases. Fuck you too, I return playfully. You wouldn't, Grady says, even if Ivy wasn't in the picture. Yeah, you're right, I laugh. Go, Grady encourages, before you break her heart again. I nod and hang up the phone. I look around and realize that I'm completely lost and soaked. I get out of the rain, positioning myself under an awning while I use my phone to figure out how far I am from Ivy's. I almost choke on my spit when I notice that I'm at least 40 minutes away if I walk back. Shifting back to the curb, I try to flag down a cab, but none of them stop. After about 10 minutes of trying, I start walking in the direction I came from. I know I continued straight after I turned the corner to the left of Ivy's apartment, so I keep my head up, watching the street signs despite the fact that the rain is falling faster and harder. It seems like it takes forever to get back to Ivy's apartment. When I'm almost to the corner where I need to turn, I curse under my breath when I notice that it took me 53 minutes to get back. I don't hesitate when I reach the lobby. The doorman looks me over with a questioning glance, but doesn't say anything as I pass through. I get inside the elevator and I wait impatiently for the damn thing to get to her floor. I probably should have taken the stairs again, but I'm not sure my body would be able to handle the 15 flights. I pace the hallway, trying to figure out what to say when Ivy answers the door. Finally, I say fuck it and just knock, hoping that whatever I do say comes out and makes sense. My heart pounds in my chest as I wait to hear footsteps approaching the door. A goofy smile is on my face when I hear the lock turn, but it falls quickly when I don't see Ivy staring back at me. You're back, he says, looking a little shocked. I glance past him, hoping to see Ivy. She's not here, he says. She left. My face falls. She left to find you, he reveals. My gaze lifts to find him and hope returns. My Ivy went looking for me. Her flight leaves in 10 minutes, he informs. You won't be able to reach her at the airport, not unless you call.
I take my phone out of my pocket, but notice that it seems a little waterlogged. Fuck. Everything okay? He asks. No, I say, punching my fingers harder against the screen. It won't work. I'll call her, he offers. Thanks, I reply. If she doesn't answer, you'll probably want to head straight back to the airport to catch the next flight, he suggests. I drove, I mumble. Seriously? He asks, lifting a brow. I've never flown before, I share, for some reason. He nods. She might already be on the plane, he says, pulling the phone away from his head. She's not answering. Are you Drew? I inquire, needing to know. Yeah, he sighs. You're gay, right? I check. He offers a nervous smile. Yeah? I nod, unsure of what to say. Well, it went to voicemail, he informs, pocketing his phone. If you start driving... Yeah, I should do that, I agree, wringing my neck. She loves you, he blurts. She couldn't stop talking about you. Ever. I mean, since I met her back in college. Really? I ask with a grin. He nods. She never got over you. It killed her not to tell you about your son, he adds. She went back and forth over the years whether to tell you or not. I can't help but smile. I'll call her again, he offers. I'll let her know you're here. What should I tell her? What do you mean? I check. Should I say you'll wait, or are you on your way to her? He says. Oh, I sigh. Let her know that I came back and I'll see her in Georgia. Okay, he confirms. I walk away but turn back to him. Thanks, I say, offering my hand, and sorry for the assumption. What assumption? He asks. Thinking you were the other man in her life, I state. I was pissed that I didn't punch you when I first saw you sitting with her. His face changes. Thanks for not hitting me. I smile. You're welcome, I reply. Good luck, Drew offers. Not that you need it. I still need it with Ivy, I inform. I made this mess and I need to fix it. We all play a part in life's messes, he states with a smile. It's what you do with them that counts. I smile and nod before turning back to the elevator. Once I get back to my truck about 15 minutes later, I change out of my wet clothes right there in the parking garage. I try to turn on the app to direct me back home and get onto the road, but the damn thing is still fucked up. Not willing to waste any more time, I get back on the road, deciding to just trust the signs and my memory from the drive up. Surprisingly, the rain seems to keep people off the streets, and I'm able to get out of New York faster than I had coming in. When I enter Pennsylvania, I realize that my phone is completely shut. I try to find a burner phone at each gas station I see along the way, but there's nothing. After the 4th place, I keep driving, only stopping for gas and a little food. I need to get back to Ivy, my Ivy, as quick as possible.
This is the end of this chapter. Thank you for listening. I hope you're enjoying the story so far. To read the full unabridged version, you can find a link in the description below. To find out about new releases before the general public, be sure to subscribe to my newsletter. You'll find a link also in the description. Also, to be notified when the next chapter is published, make sure you subscribe to my channel.